Hello, it's me. Number 27, in a series of videos about countries. Let's learn about the country of Ireland. When I say Ireland, do you think of St. Patrick's Day? How about Guinness, or Irish stew, or maybe the beautiful cliffs of Moher? And what about Riverdance? Of course, I could be talking about the Republic of Ireland, or Ireland as it's known. But if I were to ask you about Northern Ireland, would you think of the political division that exists there? That is the part of Ireland that is in the United Kingdom. So today we'll learn about both places. Now let's begin with the geography of Ireland. Ireland is an island in the North Atlantic Ocean. It's separated from Great Britain to its east by the Irish Sea. A quick note here, because some people get this confused. Great Britain and the United Kingdom are not the same thing. Great Britain is the collective name for England, Scotland, and Wales, whereas the UK includes these three plus Northern Ireland, and it's the official name of the country. So when people refer to the UK, they mean the entire country, including Northern Ireland. But when people refer to Great Britain, they only mean England, Scotland, and Wales. Okay, sorry to be pedantic, but it's important to know this. Anyways, Ireland has two official languages, Irish and English. There is no national religion, but according to one survey, around 84% of people identify as Christian. Irish is the official language, but only around 1% of the population speak it proficiently. English is understood by over 90% of the population. The currency is the euro. Ireland is part of the European Union, although technically not part of the Schengen area, which means there are still border controls. The capital and largest city is Dublin. And now, on to the history. Before we get into the full history of Ireland, it's time for some rapid-fire questions to get us in the mood. Here we go. What is the smallest country in Europe? This is Ireland. Now you might be thinking, wait, aren't they part of Europe? Well, the Republic of Ireland is, but not since 1937 when they left the Commonwealth. Oh, what is the oldest pub in Ireland? That would be Sean's Bar in Athlone. It was built in 900 AD, and what is the name of the famous Irish folk music style that began in the early 19th century? It's called a sean, pronounced something like Seanish. Now on to the full history. We start off the usual way, back before recorded history. The first humans arrived in Ireland around 14,000 years ago. After the last ice age, we have proof of this because at the end of the ice age, the sea level rose so high that it flooded the land bridge between Ireland and Great Britain. So these people had to sail here instead of walking. The Celts arrived in Ireland around 600 BC. They came from what is today France and Spain. The Romans never conquered any part of Ireland. They did come close, but they were defeated by the Irish at the Battle of the Cataveline in 43 AD. The Irish were allies of the native Britons. During the Middle Ages, the Irish were very involved in the monastic movement begun by Saint Benedict in Italy. Famous monasteries included those at Clonmacnoise, Kells, and Skellig Michael, which was on a remote island off the southwest coast. Starting in the 8th century, the Vikings began raiding Ireland, eventually settled down, and became known as the Norsemen. Then in 1169, the Anglo-Normans invaded Ireland. They fought against the High King of Ireland at the Battle of the River Barrow in 1170. The Anglo-Normans won, and this started a 700-year period of foreign domination. In 1210, King John of England came to Ireland and was crowned in Dublin. Ireland became a part of the Kingdom of England in 1541 under King Henry VIII. He also changed his title to the King of Ireland. During the 1700s, the Irish were involved in several rebellions against English rule. These included the Williamite War in the 1690s, followed by the Battle of the Boyne, and then there was the Irish Rebellion of 1798. At this point, Ireland was part of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. In the early 19th century, Ireland suffered through the Irish Famine. It lasted from 1845 to 1852 and resulted in more than 1 million people dying. It was caused by a potato disease that led to mass starvation. Many of those who survived left the country and emigrated to North America, Australia, Britain, and elsewhere. In the early 20th century, there was a renewed push for independence. This culminated in the Irish War of Independence from 1919 to 1921. On January 1920, The Irish Volunteers and the Irish Citizens' Army seized control of the four biggest cities in Ireland: Dublin, Cork, Limerick, and Waterford. This was part of the plan for the Easter Rising. After a week of fighting, the British put down the rebellion. However, the following year, armed guerrilla groups across Ireland escalated their attacks against the British. The British sent in their best counterinsurgency force, known as the Black and Tan. Things got very violent, and many civilians were killed. Eventually, peace talks were held, and the Anglo-Irish Treaty was signed in December of 1921. Ireland was divided into two separate regions. The northern 6 counties remained a part of the United Kingdom, while the rest of the country was to become known as the Irish Free State. In 1932, the Irish Free State was renamed to simply Ireland, and it became a dominion within the British Commonwealth. In 1937, a new constitution was approved by referendum and Ireland became a sovereign democratic state within the British Commonwealth. World War II began in 1939. Even though Ireland was officially neutral, much of the Irish population supported the Allies, and especially Britain. Ireland remained neutral during the Cold War. In 1973, Ireland joined what was then known as the Common Market, which later became the European Union. In the late 1960s, there was growing unrest in Northern Ireland. Remember the part that is in the United Kingdom? The majority of people living there wanted to remain a part of the UK, while the minority wanted to unify with the Republic of Ireland. Violence erupted, and it became known as the Troubles. By the end of the 1970s, things had calmed down. But it would flare up again in the 1980s and even into the 1990s. It wasn't until 1998 that the Good Friday Agreement was signed. This basically said that Northern Ireland would remain a part of the United Kingdom, but with power-sharing agreements between the Catholics and Protestants. Ireland has been a peaceful and prosperous democracy ever since. Its economy took off in the early 2000s, but then it collapsed during the Great Recession. Since then, it has recovered nicely. So let's wrap this up. Here are 10 random facts about Ireland. The population is just under 5 million. About 4.5 million of them live in the Republic of Ireland, and another 450,000 in Northern Ireland. About 82% of the population lives in a rural area. Ireland is the third most densely wooded country in Europe, with 17% of its area covered in trees. The national sport is hurling, which kind of looks like a combination of field hockey and lacrosse. Ireland is home to Europe's tallest waterfall. It's called the Ahoge, and it's located in County London. Derry is the only place in the world where a river flows north. You can see it here flowing into Loch Foyle, which empties into the sea. One of the main ingredients in Irish stew is whiskey. That's right. Whiskey is used as a flavoring ingredient in this hearty meat and vegetable stew. Life expectancy in Ireland is currently 77 years. This is a bit lower than the European average of 80. The number of people living below the poverty line is 13.4%. This is also a bit higher than the European average of 11.9. Alright, that wraps up the video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Also, let me know in the comments what other countries you'd like me to make videos about. As always, my friends, stay awesome.